best to
save it.
That bus running up.
Jesus. Oh my goodness. Jeez, what? Damn it, the bus is leaving. What? I thought the bus was leaving. Finally found one. Oh.
Where's Graham?
Things inside the cabin. There's trees and things whizzing past us.
Whizzing.
Yeah, 20 kilometres an hour maximum speed. So it's not really whizzing.
Whizzing is
stretching. No worries, enjoy your tour.
Thank you.
And your lunch, it's a great place for lunch sitting up here.
Thank you.
No worries.
On the coast. Just one moment, folks. Excuse me. Can you always keep on the left-hand side of the road, please? Thank you. And what happened was the skipper kept coming. He thought that he had plenty of water in front of him. His helmet just on the other side of it. That would be the best viewing position for watching whales during September, October, November. So if you come back during those months, I'm going to try and get that spot, sit there for a couple of hours, you'll see literally dozens of whales going past. And on the left here, this is called Catherine Bay. It's one of our favourite bays to come to as well. When my beautiful wife turned 60 on the 11th of April, we came over to Rottnest. That was a Thursday. We had my daughter, her husband, and my two beautiful little granddaughters on board. We had 2 nights there. And Catherine Bay is always very good for catching crays. Well, we set the pots the first night. Guess what? The next morning we had none. Using our service today. You've been a beautiful crowd, very responsive, and I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, folks, and I do wish you well for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. At this time of the day, also they accumulate underneath these big Moreton Bay figs. You might see a few drunk quokkas around the place, folks, if they stay here too long. Folks, if you do want something to eat, if you go straight ahead and turn left, that will take you into the main settlement area. We're just going to go very softly here. If people can keep an eye out on the left, that would be appreciated. This lady, can you encourage that one to move? Can you encourage that one to move? Thank you. Righto. Oh, very good job, young lady.
Oh,
Right.
no,
See,
no.
that's what they do. Let me know if it goes anywhere near the wood. Very, very strategic during the Second World War. It's where the women of the Royal Australian Navy were accommodated. Would you believe? There were 500
Thank you very much. Well done.
We'll see you this afternoon. Okay. So we'll just go over by the steps there and see if we're split up nicely. Need a few more. I need a few more.
This is for the Grand Island tour, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Grand Island Tour.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, confirm this is for the Grand Island tour. We have just jumped off the train. Oh, what a magnificent train drive ride. Jeez.
Volunteer guide on the island, so I only come over twice a month or so. The lighthouse are here, so it's not a bad job. But this time we're going to talk about the guns. There are actually two guns. There's one there and one to the railway line going to it, but it's behind the trees there, this side of the lighthouse. So the guns were pretty modern for the Second World War. They were hydraulically powered and remotely sort of the guidance system and the firing system was remotely organized. But you can see the building there, the lighthouse on the right, the part brick, part white building. That's an observation post, and there's two on the island, that one back there, but they took readings on any target they might see, and the readings were then converted to electrical dots and dashes, which were all unscrambled here, and information was sent to the gun from there to point the gun in the right direction. So they never pointed the gun from the gun itself, so it was done remotely over there. We will be coming back to the gun, but first we'll go down to the engine room and the magazine, because the guns were hydraulically powered and there's a lot of electrical motors as well, so they needed to create that power. So to have that safely installed, they put it underground. So this is where we go. So if we down the valley, it'll seem like we're going a long way down, but we're only going down the valley, and we don't, this is the best bit, we don't come back up the same way, we come out on a different way. So we'll go down first. still there. It rained heavily yesterday. Yeah, just stop for people to come down. So we're on a little railway platform here, and this is where they could evacuate any sick or injured people, and also bring in the ammunition. So the railway was coming and they could bring the ammunition in, and it would be lifted by a hoist up to the gun. But if it broke, if the hydraulics broke, they had to manually lift the shells up to the gun. Now the shells the gun fired are 170 kilograms, which would be 2 of you, sort of thing. So pretty heavy. But they had to carry them up. So the steps, you might have felt a bit funny, but they're wider and shallow. And they expected 4 volunteer people, soldiers, and 2 would stand this side and 2 facing them with a strap and the shell on the strap, and they would go up like this, carrying the shell. So that's why these steps are this funny sort of shallow and wide. So we'll now go in. Rottnest is all limestone and sand, and we are in fact on the sand. So all the tunnels have been dug out of sand, which isn't easiest because it all stays in. So all these tunnels had to be done before the Second World War so that the guns could operate. And during the war, because Perth was pretty isolated, the whole island was a military-only island. So there'd be barbed wire on the beaches, and people were restricted to the particular areas they were working on. They'd have to have pass-outs or permits to go to different places. So it wasn't easy, but it was probably Dad's army who looked after the place. They probably had a couple of young fellas, but most of the young fellas were sent to the front, and Dad's army looked after here. Guns were never fired in anger, but they were proof-fired and regularly fired just for keeping their skills up. So we'll go to the magazine now, which is pretty well on the level, and that's underneath the gun itself. That's how far down we are.
Oh, big shaft.
I think the camera required.
They would have a ladder. This was the escape hatch area. So this is where they store the ammunition, and the shell, the 170 kilogram shell, is all weapons. So there was a hoist here, which is in Oldham. When the army vacated the area, they got rid of all the electric motors and things they could get up the island, and the hoist, the bits they could send off. So this shell, as I said, is all weapons, so it has back propellant to send it off. So the back propellant is in there, we call it cordite, but it's a nitroglycerin mixture as such. That was stored in the room behind, and because that was a bit unstable, they had to keep an extra eye on it and all in there. But with the armour piercing, because they were keeping away enemy warships, they wanted to sink a warship. Because this, when it hits the side of the ship, it's spinning fast and it's got lots of momentum. This is a very dense, heavy nose cone, which melts and melts the side of the armour plating of the ship and burrows its way in. So it will, and we're talking about milliseconds here, it gets through and then explodes inside the ship, which they want to do rather than outside the ship. So that was really what they were using, but there were practice ones they could have, and land-based ones which were just high explosive. So we'll go from here into the chloride room, which is down here. So all the electrics are serviced from the other side. There's on wooden racks to stop any static sort of thing. And there's a brick wall here with a void behind, so that kept the humidity at a more even keel. They checked them regularly, and each batch was slightly different, so they had to send 2 of the same batch up to the gun, and the people who were doing all the calculations had to know which batch it was, because each batch was slightly different. But from each batch, everything was the same, so they weighed them regularly. If there were anything untoward, they were sweating and the weight wasn't quite right, they would discard them, throw them away, because it wouldn't fire exactly where it should go. So they made sure that. But this same original struck-proof rubberized floor and the big channel section, beam section is standard throughout. Now, we go down to the engine room now, and it seems we're going a long way down, but in fact we're just following the contour of the land, so we're not too far below. And as I said, we don't come back the same way. So we'll head off there now.
Yeah. So you wave to the other guys so that they don't get lost. What a descent.
Duck line. Keep going, duck food.
What's the strip on your leg?
Careful.
Everyone?
Yeah, right. All good. Got 3 things good, got 3 things on the wall.
Come on, come down.
We might have lost her somewhere.
Different country managers of the world, and they really stand by power until the country towns are connected up to the electricity grid. But 2 engines here, one would produce enough electricity to power both guns. Of course, the electricity was converted into hydraulic pressure or water pressure or compressed air along the way. So a big switchboard to sort it out. If they weren't operating the engines, they had another little generator set just for lighting, so they could. So all the exhaust and clean air came in through the vents at the end, and these had to have compressed air to start them. It's a big slow-moving diesels, and there was also water, but it would have been hot and smelly and not very nice here. Now we do have some bells and whistles, which, how about you starting the engine? Crank it up. If anybody else wants to go, feel free. That's a recent innovation, some purists think, yes. So, imagine digging this out. You wouldn't be on your own, it would be a load but with wheelbarrows and things. No diggers. I don't know exactly, but they've got reinforcements